Looking forward to AIPAC's Congressional Summit and the Parshas Truma. All right, so it's odd that I'm going to hear this Dvar Torah after I have already been back from AIPAC, but in order for you to get it, I have to record it before I go. So I'll give you some feelings about going down to AIPAC, and then hopefully upon my return, I'll share feelings about the experience. One of the things that I love about AIPAC is all kinds of different Jews coming together, really from right, left, up, down, religious, not religious, all coming together to volunteer of their time and their money on behalf of the Jewish people in the state of Israel. Right? It is inspiring, and I think it's important work. Now we'll shift to the Dvar Torah portion, and then I'll come back to AIPAC just a couple of minutes. The beginning of Parshas Truma, right? We have, right? Hashem tells Moshe, "Daber el bnei Yisrael v'yikchu li truma me'et kol ish asher yidvenu libo." Right? You should take a truma. You should take a gift from anyone who volunteers from their heart. Right? Their heart pushes them to give. That is a voluntary gift, right? And we need all kinds of things. Right, zahav, chesef, nechoshet. We need gold, we need silver, we need copper. Tchelet, argaman, right? The blue wool and the purple wool, right? Orot elim me'adzamim. We need the skins, right, that form the cover for the Mishkan. We need all of those things, and this is a voluntary offering. Beginning of Parshas Kitisa, right? There we find that there is a mandatory gift. Everyone has to give a half a shekel. And I always thought that it was, right, everyone has to give a certain amount, and then people who have more give. It's sort of like, shul membership in a building campaign. But I think there's something more going on as well, right? The Mishnah actually picks up, there's a Mishnah, Gemara in Megillah, that if you read these psukim, it says the word truma 3 times. Right? Daber b'nei Yisrael v'yikchu li truma. Right? Take from me a truma, a gift. Me'ei kol ish asher yidvenu libo tikchu et trumati. Right? From anyone who their heart volunteers, take my truma, my gift. V'zot ha-truma asher tikchu me'itam. This is the truma that you should take. That those 3 different trumos are actually 3 different gifts that we give to the Beis HaMikdash. 2 of them voluntary. The Ramban says the 3rd is mandatory. What are they? What are we talking about giving? So the Gemara says the first mandatory gift is for the Adanim. The Adanim are the bolts that hold, right, the boards together to form literally the structure of the Mishkan. Then the second mandatory gift is for the korbanos, for the sacrifices that are offering. And the 3rd is for everything else that's listed here. Right. The question is, why should that be? Right? Why distinguish between those 2 items, and why not make everything mandatory? Don't we need all of these items? And we do. Now, what we see at the end is that the volunteerism is great, and they come to get what they need, but it doesn't absolve us of asking the question, why not make everything mandatory? We need the items. We need the Mishkan. We're commanded to build a Mishkan. Tell the people that they have to do this. And I think the answer is as follows, right? That what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show us is that inherent in us as a people is a tremendous spirit of giving and volunteerism, right? That is built into the fabric of the Jewish people. When it comes to a national project such as the Mishkan, it's as if, as HaKadosh Baruch Hu was telling us, the Jews you'll always be there. Right? You'll always have that spirit. You'll always find the way to give, and you'll always find the way to get it done. No matter yet, silver and gold and wool and skins, very expensive stuff, hard to find stuff. But the Jewish spirit of giving, of philanthropy, of volunteerism, it's part and parcel of the people and the nation and the mission and the national project. And that's why it is left there. Not for the rich people to give more, but for us to know as a people that this is part of who we are, and then Hashem knows that we're up to the task. Why the specific items is fascinating. The adanim are the bolts that hold the piece together. So the very basics, we're obligated, has to be. The sacrifices every day, the very basics, mandatory. But beyond that, there's so much more to give. The gold, the silver, there's so much more to give that's above and beyond the very basic. And Hashem knows that we'll always be there for the people, we'll always be there for the national, right, for the destiny of Am Yisrael, for the national project. And that's why specifically, not because they couldn't have done it otherwise. If there was a flat tax, maybe they could have come up with it. But to show us that critical to the national project is the spirit of giving, philanthropy, and volunteerism. And that is one of the things, right, that I just love about going down to AIPAC. It's people who take time off of work, who donate generously, who take time to call their congressmen and their senators, emails, phone calls, constant communication. All of that is so important. And it's for the people. It's for Am Yisrael. It's for Eretz Yisrael. And there'll be 1,600 people giving significantly of their time and of their resources for Am Yisrael. And that is always inspiring. With that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.